turn down this country gold.
It's good.
It's as far as like, and I've been really backing off any AI stuff, but it for what we do, that actually works pretty well because it keeps us from getting copyright.
Oh. Gotcha.
So in that instance where it is not a human, I'm actually okay with it. Let me turn that down because it's not. I don't think I'm stealing any ideas that haven't been around since 1960.
No.
Like that is
No
all.
Such thing as
Yeah,
an
and it's
original
all
idea anymore.
like the same sound, and so like that I'm actually okay with, and it does serve an excellent purpose of not getting us kicked off Twitch and YouTube. All right, let me make sure we can see you.
We get the ones that are. You go through that copyright check every time you do the episodes on Twitch. And,
Yes.
Man, or uploading it to YouTube is even worse.
Yeah, YouTube is the hardest.
Yeah, for sure.
All right, there you are. Oh, yeah, you look good. You look great. This guy over here with his fucking cell phone.
How do I turn this off?
the cell phone? I don't know. I've never had a cell phone.
I think you just throw it.
Okay. All right, cool. I think we did it. Christine's, I have to touch her camera. Look at the lighting on her. It's almost like SJ has it set up to make ladies look good in here. I know what you're doing, sir. All right. I think we're good. T, would you like to start?
Yes.
Hopefully everybody, can you guys hear okay?
Yeah.
Yep.
All right, cool. I'll give you each a little bit more there. All right, Mr. Van, you can begin. Here we go. In 3, 2.
Welcome to A Corporate Time with Tom and Dan. I'm Tom.
I am Dan. We are live on Twitch and YouTube, and we would love it if you come over and hang out with us Monday through Friday. What would you say, right around like 11 a.m. probably?
Yeah, usually 11 to noon, then like 1 to 2
Yeah,
usually.
we do take a
That's
lunch break, except for Mondays where we power through and we don't eat it all. We don't eat it all. We start at like 8:30 and we go to like 2.
Yeah.
And then we're starving and we're mad at each other, and then I have to sort of drive off to therapy, and I'm yelling. I'm like, this mother effer doesn't feed me.
Yeah,
I'm starved.
why do we do it like
All
that?
I want is a turkey Reuben.
We make our own schedule.
I know.
I like how we make the work
It's a
schedule
test,
for
though, but it's
ourselves.
a test. We're going to be the first podcast to go to a 4-day work week.
No,
We're going to do it.
okay.
We're going to do it.
Well, how do we do that?
I don't know. We're going to figure it out. But
I want a 2-day work week.
you know what time it is.
Before we start.
Okay, please, get the business out of the way.
Just Call Mo Skate-A-Thon,
Yes.
family Skate-A-Thon is this Saturday from 5 to 7 at Cimarron Skateway.
Yes.
You have to register at justcallmo.com/skate. Fill out the waiver before the event.
But nobody will. You're not going to do it.
Speeds up the process.
It does, but you're not going to do it.
We got 2 hours.
Hey, Dan, what's up? I've never met your daughter before. Oh, man, I'd be in there skating if I'd filled out the waiver. You're not going to do it. I know you're not going to do it. None of you have ever done it.
When Bus Second told me how many people registered,
Yeah.
I was like, you're a liar.
Yeah.
That cannot be.
At this point, it's like 3,000 people.
No,
like,
no,
it's going to be a lot. It's going to be like Bonnaroo out there.
You ready for some weird
Yeah,
job?
we're going to do Weird Job. And look, these Weird Job Wednesday theme songs have gotten way too long. Just way too long. We got to do something different. We got to go with the times. We got to go with what the kids want. And what do the kids want? They want it quick and dirty. Here's our new theme song, Moving From Here On Out.
Hey Fatso, what do you do? It's Fatso Jobs with Tommy V.
Hold on. Come on.
There you go. So it's now we've rebranded. It's now Fatso Jobs with Tommy V.
No, come on.
You're Tommy V. I'm just your producer sidekick, Chan.
No,
You can
come
call
on.
me Chan. That's a good one.
Hey Fatso,
No, it's Weird Job. It's Weird Job.
Fatso Jobs with Tommy V.
No,
Wait for it. That's for you, buddy.
I do like the ending.
A little disturbed makes everything better. Welcome to Weird Job Wednesday. That got
right.
the energy level a little higher.
Now, before we actually introduce our guest, I want to talk to Christine,
Yes.
who's on the couch for the first
Hold on,
time.
let me give her a blast. Oh,
Wait.
my stuff doesn't work.
I got.
There we go. You got a blast.
How you doing, Christine?
I'm doing. I've just been called a fatso, I think. So
No,
That's not aimed at
yeah,
anybody.
yeah,
That's
yeah,
like,
yeah,
look,
yeah.
that's like shooting
Yeah,
up in the
right.
air on July 4th. It's a victimless crime.
Yeah. No, but the people think like
It's
the
a
Weird
victimless
Job.
crime.
Anyway, but they don't know the
I know
background.
they don't.
The 10 years
Well,
of
is that
the
my
joke.
is that my problem? If you wander into Walking Dead season 4, is it my problem you didn't load up the first 3 seasons, not my problem.
So Christine has been listening
Certainly
to
not a
us
fat slob.
and helping us for a long time.
Very long time. I don't know why she does it.
Yeah.
To tell you the truth.
It's like she's been magooing us through this small podcast business for years now.
We have a lot of very intelligent, beautiful, and talented men and women, but women mostly, that hold us in the guardrails and keep the wheels on this struggle bus for sure.
Women and old men.
Young
men.
Those are our favorite.
Nothing.
We don't like any
young men are useless.
Yeah, young men are useless. You guys are so weak now.
Anyway,
we need women.
So Christine, how long have you been listening to us?
Since day one.
Okay,
since the
beginning.
very first, the very first episode.
Now, Christine has a nickname that I can't say on the radio, but it's because of a painting that we have.
But people don't know that. So when we're at beer fests and things, and Christine's helping out, you'll call her Pig Tease, which is the name.
The
T meaning the T word for breasts, and you'll call her that, and then like people will hear it and think that her name is Pig Tease,
or think that why would
no? They look down.
Just look down. Well, why don't they know the joke?
Well, first I think they're gonna look to see if you do have them.
If they
I
listen,
think that's what they're gonna do. They're gonna go, what?
If they listen for 15 years, they know.
They would know. Exactly.
Anyway, so it's because of a painting that's called Pig Tease.
It's in our office.
That you gifted us early on, and we've always hung it in our studio.
It was hanging in my daughter's was now my daughter's room for a very long time.
And that painting now hangs behind me above Daniel's desk.
Yes.
And so when I take Zoom business meetings,
it's
me.
He's in there talking to Snyder's of Hanover pretzels, right? He's got the big Snyder's of Hanover people on the line.
And I'm trying to sell them on the Tom and Dan advertising.
And they're like, let me tell you about these honey mustard pretzel bits. And there's Tease hanging right over Tom's head.
I always look up to the right and I see it and I'm like, oh! And then I try to block it with my head the entire meeting.
He does.
And I never changed it though. I just do it over.
I think it's avant-garde, and I think that businesses look at it and think that we're very progressive.
Art.
It is fine art.
Yeah,
so it is okay.
I used to think that when I was a young man, I'd go to my friends' houses, and then their dads were, it was like the end of the 70s, early 80s. Their dads were always horny, and they'd have like nude women on the wall. And when I saw it, I'd be like, man, my dad must not be horny. Or my dad is like an uncultured, because this guy.
No motorcycle posters.
Exactly. Like this guy has I'm talking about like, it was more like that. It's that 80s style where it's like all fluorescent style, like almost Steve Winwood saxophone colors. And the girl has like almost like a geisha, like slicked black hair, and she's very pale white, and it's only line art with like pastels. Do you know what I'm talking about?
Oh yeah. My mom had them.
I
need more horny art. Actually, I have more horny art than anybody that I know.
This guy has one of his family's asses. One of his family members' asses is hanging in every room.
Okay,
they have some sort of santeria about like you gotta have an ass hanging in every room. Put a cat eyeball.
Max
You gotta
baby
put a
ass in the guest room.
Your wife's whole cha-cha-cha is out in the.
It's not out.
Your wife's cha-cha-cha is out in the. No, it's out. She has the soap coming down the crack.
No, yeah.
I know. I've been in there before. Anyway,
let's bring back horny art. I'm sorry, Nick. Let's
bring back table games.
Okay, speaking of table games, Nick Larson is on the couch with us. Well. And he is our weird job. Christine just facilitated this weird
thank
job
you,
today.
Christine.
Absolutely.
Very much appreciative of you helping us out. Now,
and we'll get back to Christine at the end of the interview.
Eventually.
Got a couple bones to pick there, Christine.
We do. We'd have some gripes. You do that. Gripes are on the table.
If you help me a little, you need to help me a lot. I rely on you. Like, as soon as you start helping me, I'm like, oh, I need more.
Let's pivot to Nick.
So, Nick, what is your weird job, Nick?
I'm Nick Larson. A few friends of mine and myself started Adventures on Tap, which is a local organization that raises money for local charity by playing Dungeons & Dragons and other role-playing games in breweries around Central Florida.
Okay.
Not only that, but like just by going to your website like one time, I know what you do and I've known of it for a very long time. But after checking out the website, I'm like, oh man, you guys do this in a very, very high caliber, very top tier, very organized,
Everyone
very
says
well
that,
done
and I always
way.
find it surprising.
You don't think that's true?
It's,
Man, because
it's me bleary-eyed doing it at 2 a.m.
It's
so
what you're giving
to hear
off,
that it's
though.
good is great.
Then don't tell anybody that
Oh,
because
okay.
it looks.
Cut this out.
Yeah, the fit and finish of everything that you do and the way that it's organized and the way that everybody's represented and the way it reads and how it's understandable to me, who I am. I know of tabletop games and have played, but I'm certainly not in the world.
Yeah.
So I'd still consider myself a bit of a novice. And I thought it was great. I was very extremely impressed. And give out your website quickly in case people want to see what I'm talking about.
AOTorlando.com. So A, Alpha, Omega, what's T?
Tom.
Tango?
Tango.
Tom.
Tango.
Tom, that's
Yeah.
good. Orlando.com.
There you go. Go there and check it out, especially if you are a gamer and you would like to possibly go to some of these special events and participate.
So
Yeah, even if you know nothing about it. Absolutely.
Okay, well,
that's our audience.
I know nothing about it, and even when people
Perfect.
explain to me, I still know nothing, and I'm confused by it. Brendan O'Connor was trying to explain.
I think you got
Dungeons and
frustrated a
Dragons.
little
He
bit.
did get frustrated.
I could see the frustration.
Daniel was in the meeting.
Yeah,
and
I was.
and I just kept having him explain.
You kept tapping your temples, and when he taps his temples, taps his temples, he's trying to figure out something.
And I'm
It's
like, what's the strategy?
Yeah,
here?
it's like
They're just
Rain
no,
Man
no.
trying to count the cards over here.
You just
right.
make it up as you go, and I'm like, it was a
Does not compute.
I was like,
Must have value.
how is it a game? How do you garner an edge?
Yeah, how do you win?
How do you win? It's easy, right? So a game at its core is right, making good choices within guardrails, and RPGs and tabletop role playing games, they just have really wide guardrails. You can do whatever you want, and it's up to the rest of the table.
He doesn't like a whatever you want scenario.
Well, I just don't understand. Okay, we'll get to the game in a second.
Yep.
I want to know how you started this because it started around COVID, right?
It started in COVID, yeah.
Okay.
So I was working in the service industry and breweries, and we were really struggling.
Well, from me to you, thank you for your service.
Yeah, thank you.
I love beer.
Right.
I like beer. Sorry.
Yeah, and we weren't able to do taproom sales. We weren't able to do a lot of different things, and it was really struggling. So as soon as that restriction lifted, we wanted to get people, butts in seats as soon as we could.
Yeah.
And a friend of mine and I, we put together some of our events of just trying to make it, cheap. Your ticket bought you 2 beers, and then you got to come in and sit and play. And it's evolved into, now we go to a bunch of different breweries rather than just the one we worked at. And we try and get people to come check out new breweries and get some of their, get some new business, hopefully introduce some of their great beer to new people. And if they can sit and play a game for 6 hours and have some good food, then it's great.
6 hours.
Yeah, I knew it. Yeah, I was waiting for that. It's almost like I had a button on my sound machine. It's like,
Is that how long?
6 hours, 6 hours.
That's not how long it always takes, but that's kind of the window that we try and occupy to give people enough for their money that they can really get through a full story and kind of come to a complete conclusion on a story.
Okay, so and people
Oh,
that
I
are
like
familiar
that.
with table games obviously know how long it takes, and
Yes.
so that's. And I'm kind of just screaming that out because I'm not familiar with this.
Yeah,
and-
well, I mean, the creativity aspect of this, the game master part of it.
Dungeon Master.
Dungeon
Master.
Master.
Like that part of it is the most intriguing on this side of the table for me because, I'm like figuring out how to tell the story in a way that's clever, that also has some twists maybe or some turns, maybe some reveals, or I don't know how you're able to control that. And I like it. I like the feeling
It's a
of
loose grip.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it sounds like it. And how hard is it to manage that window of time, or is that
very
why
hard.
you implore or employ rather the gaming masters that you do because you know they're good?
You led right to it. Absolutely. It's a skill for sure. It's a muscle you've got to exercise. So we also pay our DMs to do the job, which a lot of times you'll find at conventions or other things like that. They're just doing it for a ticket to go to the
Yeah, I
event.
was going to say I've
something
never
like
heard
that.
of people being paid to do it.
It's
so
very
that,
rare.
That would
Yeah.
immediately elevate your
Yeah.
That's now you're talking Tom's language because
or you're getting pros.
You are.
Yeah.
You are.
Right.
So-
and they're getting a lot of time to flex that muscle. So they're getting good at it.
And,
Interesting.
And is
I like that.
is that rare to go to an event and find a pro dungeon master to host a game with you and your friends? Like, is that or is
no? I know what you mean because I've only
like,
been to a couple of like the gaming nights or gaming days at like a shop, let's say, just a random shop, and nobody there is running it, getting paid, and it's just loose, and they're like, I'll do it. It's kind of like that. This sounds a lot more organized and a lot more like, if you go there and pay, you're going to get value out of it. You're going to get something awesome out of it.
And that's definitely been the kind of crux of the whole thing, where we want people to get value out of their money. We try and keep tickets super cheap.
Right. I think a quote I read in an article, you said, we want to do good, we don't want to do well.
Yeah, we're here to do good, not do well. Absolutely. Yeah, because our focus is getting butts in seats to raise money for the charity.
Get the charity taken care of, maybe, take care of our bottom line and everything here, and a little, that'd be great, but if not, we're good.
Okay, so I got some questions about Dungeons and Dragons itself.
I got answers, baby.
So
I like that he said baby to you. Bully him like that.
I mean,
Get
he's
him.
got them sweet cheeks right now.
I know. He's got the rosy. Slap him around. Get him, baby.
So when you are the dungeon master, can you have?
That's appealing to him. Look at that already.
Yeah, right.
Already,
Control.
and you. With the way that your stupid hamster wheel runs, you'd probably be pretty decent at dungeon mastering.
Can you have influence on the actual game, or is it all dice roll?
Oh, like a South American soccer ref? Oh, yeah. Yellow card, yellow card, yellow card.
It's very much like a South American soccer ref. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So you set the parameters that people play in, right? You act as kind of like the, for lack of better terms, the god of the world that they're playing in. And you can make it as hard or as easy for them as you'd like, but they're the ones making the decisions. So
see, I've thought about this before. If played a few times, and if your sons got into it, you being the god of the family's game would be your greatest dream come true. It's literally your guardrails, and they start to go one direction, and you want to drag it out a little bit and move the rail, dog. It's your rail.
Yeah. It's more like the narrator of a story that you've already read that they haven't yet, right? So you're trying to guide them to make interesting choices.
You don't want it to be like obviously so frustrating that like people hate it, but like you want it to be challenging and you want it to be difficult. And I'm sure there are some that are wildly difficult, right? Like,
So is there any strategy to when you're playing?
Oh yeah, it's all strategy. So every character has their own things that they can do, and the more they work together with their friends and strangers at our events, then the better they do. But there are times when nobody wants to work together, or they go different directions, and it ends up making it harder for everybody. But it's still a interesting story and a fun time.
Okay, well, I need to dial it back to the beginning here because I'm so confused.
He's freaking out right now.
You start.
That's why I was so looking forward to getting you in here.
There's a board.
I don't think I've ever been happier for a Weird Job Wednesday. Like honestly, I was so happy.
This is really gonna screw you up. There's no board.
Why is there no? Okay, so there's no board.
There's no board.
Okay, so what? Okay, I walk in. I'm drunk.
You're already drunk. You were pre-gaming before you came to the brewery.
There's nothing wrong with that.
Oh God, you forgot your character. You don't even have your guy with you.
So I sit down. Do I need to bring anything?
So that's the best part. For our events, you don't need to bring anything.
Okay.
If you have dice, bring them. But otherwise, the characters are made for you. The story's made for you. The professional DM has already hooked you up.
You guys are really making it easy.
Yeah, you can literally just drop in and play, and you can negotiate with your dungeon master if you can only be there for a few hours or however it works. But yeah, it's super easy. And if you're brand new to the game, you've never played it before, that's cool too. Just come in, tell them, hey, teach me, and they absolutely will. All of our guys are great.
Okay, so
and ladies.
So you sit down, there with some other people.
What's your character?
Oh, okay. So then they go around, and then the dungeon master's like, you sir, what's your character? And then I have to stand up and say something. I hate that.
Typically, even to make it easier for exactly that, right? They'll have a list of characters in front of them, and they'll say, choose one. Be that right now. Be an orc warrior, or be an elf hunter, or whatever you might be.
So it's Lord of the Rings adjacent.
Be a Castleberry alcoholic.
Yeah.
Let me check that guy.
The trick with fantasy is everything is Lord of the Rings adjacent.
Yep.
It's the mother language.
I like the ghostly arrow man.
That's a great
name.
Is
one of those.
That's a great name. Ghostly Arrow Man? That's you, dog. All day long, you're Ghostly Arrow Man.
So I choose Ghostly Arrow Man, and then everybody else chooses, Daniel's, what is that, Gimli.
Yeah, I'm Gimli. Forever Gimli, they call me.
So we choose our characters.
But I'm a Western-themed Gimli. I have 6 shooters.
Also great.
Yeah,
Then,
do
I
I get
get
a futuristic Gimli?
a little game piece of my character?
Sometimes, yeah.
Okay.
So I brought some with me. You know,
Here, look at mine.
you've got little like monsters that you can play, or you've got little characters that you can be. But these aren't even. I'm gonna screw your brain up even worse. They're not necessary, right? You can entirely play this game with nothing in your head, and just people telling people their decisions.
Or like
this
whatever
just helps
I want.
people out.
Can I use whatever I want?
Yeah, you can be a table salt shaker. You can be a can of beer. You can be whatever you want to
I'd
be.
be mad if you brought a salt shaker.
Can
though.
I use the condom in my wallet?
Sure, yeah.
My grandpa gave me this. My grandpa always said this gave him good luck.
No, I'm joking.
It's very protective.
Jesus Christ.
No, so then you have dice. How many?
You really only need a D20. Which is
20
a
dice?
20-sided dice.
Oh,
Sorry, a
one?
20-sided
Okay.
die.
All right.
And if you want to get fancy, you know, your different weapons do different dice, but even that, a full set of dice has, I think, nine pieces of dice?
9 max, usually
Yeah.
between like 6 and 7.
And that's
for
with like
basics.
extras.
Yeah.
So you'll have like a D12, a D6, a D4. These are all how many sides are on the die.
Okay,
And they
all right.
represent different things. But for the most part, you make all of your decisions with a D20.
All right, so I have a 20-sided dice, and then say it's my go, and then the dungeon master. What does he start off with?
You're trapped in
the setting?
the spider's
Yeah.
clutches.
Okay.
And the only way to get out is you got to use the power. You have to seduce the spider out by making love to her.
Okay, all right.
Well, that's definitely a possibility, right? It usually starts with, you guys are in a tavern, here's a quest, go.
I was just
Right.
trying to speak his language because he's,
sure.
he's horny, and I'm trying to
For
keep
sure,
it all
yeah.
eyes on.
Here's-
I went right for
Here's
like
a sexy
these-
spider,
yeah, sexy spider,
and
you
you're
gotta-
stuck with her.
and
What are you
gotta-
going to do?
You have to seduce her,
yeah,
and then
Okay.
if you make love to her correctly, she'll let you out of her trappings.
Okay, and then it goes to me.
Yeah.
And then I roll
Do
the
you have
dice.
your dice?
You roll to seduce.
Okay,
yeah.
okay, no, let's say I roll F4, right? So then I'm like, is there some sort of
We're not playing
chart?
Battleship, man.
One through 20.
Yeah, it's 20
Okay.
sides.
1 through 20. What do you roll?
It can't count. Oh my God, the spider's eating him.
I roll an 18. Is there some
Oh,
sort of...
that's kind of lingus.
Okay, but is there a chart that I can see what the number correlates with?
No, not necessarily. This is going to break your brain, right? So your character will have different skills or whatever that you're good at, right? And then you add a modifier to whatever you rolled. So let's say you have +4 to seduce a spider. You would add that to your 18. You have a 22, and then the DM would tell you, yes, that succeeds, or no, it doesn't. And that's
Oh,
it.
so it's his decision?
Well,
But I'm like, I rolled
Well,
the
no, there-
seduce.
no,
but
no,
I
no.
won.
No,
it
but-
follows rules of the game, right? So like a very hard thing would be a 20, right, to do. Or
Okay.
an easy thing would be like a 10. So if you rolled an 18 and it was easy, then you succeeded. Great.
Yeah.
Good job.
Yeah,
Okay.
this would I would say that seducing the spider would be a 20, and let's just say you rolled a 13,
Okay.
and then you had +4.
She
Oh,
eats you.
buddy,
Sorry, bud.
You didn't cut it.
Does that say
Sorry,
is there a chart?
she ate your legs and left you there to bleed out.
Or you're
And
just saying that
that's
because
what the
you-
dungeon master does.
Yeah.
Like
Okay.
he adds the consequences to your actions. You tell him what you do, or her.
But
and
maybe
then-
Gimli would jump in and say, hold on, let me get my character. Maybe Gimli would jump in at the
Yeah.
last second and say, hey, I'll satisfy the spider because this weak
Right.
man can't get it
Or
done.
maybe the
Boom,
two of us
25.
together,
Yeah.
you know,
Oh, yeah. You
Yeah.
can you
hold
can-
down
yeah.
4 legs each. Whatever
Exactly.
happens. you know?
Yeah, what-
that's a whole
yeah.
different. So it's all up to the dungeon master.
Correct. This is
So
just
what if
an
the dungeon
example-
master doesn't like Tom Van?
Oh.
Like, is he follows me on Facebook and disapproves of my political beliefs?
Well, you're going to have a rough go.
Yeah, you're gonna have a rough time.
All right, so then I'm like, oh, I'm still
Yeah.
like the spider still be boofing me 3 rounds in, and the dungeon
be.
master's like, yes.
I don't think that's going to happen because, again, we're talking about paid professional
Right.
gaming
Yeah.
dungeon
Also, we're
masters.
easily bribed with beer. So, like,
Yeah.
if you get yourself in a hole, just buy him a beer.
Yeah, I think this is supposed to be very fun.
Yes,
So I
yes.
think it's like there's not going to be a lot of grudge holding for the
Yeah.
newbies that are stopping
What's
by
the
to
spread
play.
on fun?
There's 2 like main camps of playing role-playing games in general. Dungeons and Dragons being one of them, and you have the super serious people, and then
Yeah.
you have the beer and pretzels crowd, and we're definitely the beer and pretzels crowd. We're
Gotcha.
just there to sit and have a beer, have
love
fun, right? We're not gonna get down on you on a rule. One of the things we follow is the rule of cool. If it sounds cool, I don't care what the rule was. Like, we're gonna do it. That
Yeah.
sounds great. And that makes sure everybody has fun at the table and kind of gets those creative juices flowing, and everyone has fun.
How long has Dungeons and Dragons been around?
Since the 70s.
Okay.
It just hit its
Yeah.
50th year anniversary.
All right.
Yeah.
And it's been basically the same since the start because it's so open-ended that it could be whatever you want it to be. So it's kind of like it's just the premise of a game, right? Because every game is completely different.
The way you play it is exactly the same. The rules may have changed, where like the strategy that you're talking about, where like me as a player, I know that the rule works this way. I can do something around that. That has changed over time, but the basic way you play, where you are a character, you are role-playing a character, and you're going to do something, accomplish something, that's never changed.
Are there, would you guys say the Dungeons and Dragons is more of like the world, or are there real, like intellectual property, like proper name people within the universe that are like, oh, that's, Sir, Chesterfield, and he's the or is it more of like a land?
So Dungeons and Dragons is a set of rules, right?
So it's
you
can
apply it to any story you want, and that's what's good about Dungeons and Dragons and why it's so popular, why it's great for our events. You can tell any story in that rule set.
Okay, what's the rules?
The rules are like when you want to seduce a spider, you roll your +4 to spider seduction, add to your roll, right? That would be a rule. And so it's a basic understanding that everyone agrees to when playing the game. And there's tons of games out there other than Dungeons & Dragons, and we play some of those as well. We try and feature one every time from like smaller independent developers or even just other non-D&D, because D&D is very like big and it has the hype behind it. But this whole industry is super creative and super fun, and D&D can tell any story, but it's never the best way to tell a story, right? There's always a game that's going to be better to tell the story you're trying to tell, but D&D is like English, right? Everyone kind of knows it.
Right. Universal.
Right. It's a very
used.
universal game. And so if you've played D&D, you know how to play other games like D&D, but the best ones are not like D&D, right? They're wild.
Gotcha.
So
how do you, when different characters enter the game and different people have like their plus or minuses, their characteristics that make them good or bad, how do you know that? Is it reflected anywhere? Do they say it at the beginning of the game? Do they just say it when their turn comes around? And how many people can actually play?
So you'll have a character sheet, looks something like this. I don't know if it's on screen.
Yeah, we can see it.
Yeah, and that'll have your name, all of your stats, all of your whatever, right? And at one of our events, we'll just hand you one, right? Or you'll pick it from a pile, and
I can
that'll
make my
tell
own
you
stats?
everything. You could if you were making your own character, absolutely. A lot of times we don't have enough
Level
time to do
10
that.
strength.
There you go.
Does everybody try to do that, or do you find that I found that most of the characters like are pretty human, like they don't take advantage of it too much?
We get a good mix. I'd say the newer a player is, the more they want to do that. And then like I've been playing RPGs for 2+ decades, right?
Wow.
And thanks. And I'm happy to just pick any sheet and run with it, because that's the fun for me.
Yeah.
Is like learning to play that.
That's what I like.
I know how to play the game.
Honestly,
I wanna do this.
the gamble of having a flawed character is way more fun.
Flaws
because
are way more fun.
failing and seeing the consequences of failure, so much more fun to role play, to try
For
to
sure.
like crawl back from.
That's what I think you would like, is that let's say you get to the end and you're the guy, and you had like literally what could be called like the worst character, or a character that you didn't want. You get to the end, you're chopping your crotch, Generation X.
Well, how'd I
suck
get
it,
there? Did the dungeon master just get me there because he felt sorry for me?
No, you make good choices with what,
Yeah.
because that character's still going to have some pluses. It's still going to have some things that help it out. So I guess it would be up to your creativity within the story.
Right.
How clever can you be with your character?
Yeah, and with the characters, part of the rules and what you're looking at as far as each of the characteristics of certain like classes or races, you're going to have benefits. If you're a barbarian, you're going to be stronger, but what did you lose? If you're a barbarian and you're always out, battling things, you probably haven't hit the book, so your intelligence is going to be lower. So playing, after all, you get
Hold
to
on, I
become
set
feeling-
my intelligence for level 10 too.
No, you can't do
Everything's
that.
level 10.
Something-
Speed, intelligence.
Something's got some. Maybe you can't skip, right? Like
Yeah,
there's going to be a
you're
problem.
on there.
level 2 skipper.
Just like real life, everyone has a dump stat, right?
Yeah.
Oh, so they can't let you do you call someone out if they try to Michael Scott level 10 everything, and then they go in there?
That's definitely something that you would do typically at a home table or something. If someone tries to be a rules lawyer, they try and do something that upsets the game for everyone else. But luckily, the crowd that we've kind of collected over time via word of mouth, or just by being the change we wish to see in the world, right, has brought a good group of people
Yeah.
together that are always just down to play whatever's at the table and follow the rules in a way that makes it fun for everybody else.
I like that. That's
Right.
cool.
We have a really good crowd, and we have a lot of Christines as well that
Yeah.
help us run everything, and
Let's talk
including
about-
Christine.
Yeah, let's talk
Yeah.
about the volunteer aspect.
Absolutely.
And how many people you have helping you and kind of putting that all together. And when did you decide you're like, this is going to work. This is great. I love doing it. Let's make it
Right.
like way more official. When did that start kind of falling into place?
So, I mean, we built Adventures on Tap in a weekend, right?
Nice.
We had a goal in mind. We wanted to do it. We came in with a few core principles of, we wanted to do ethical business. We wanted to make sure we were giving to charity.
Write down ethical business.
I wrote that down a long time. Crossed it out.
we try and
Crossed
represent
that out
that
a long time ago.
on our Discord, for example. Every time we raise money for charity, we show receipts,
Nice.
right? Showing that we gave that money to charity and making sure that you can track every dollar just as someone that's casually watching, not
Sure.
as someone that's part of the organization. And each individual thing has kind of led to these the things that you see as like, oh, we look very put together. Well, they've all just kind of developed naturally over, oh, we should have this to represent that. And so we've had a very small group of core volunteers that run the whole thing. And then we have over 60, I think, at the moment, dungeon masters that will swap in for different events.
That's what I was most impressed with is like you
Yeah.
go online, you look at like through your Facebook or Instagram and what you guys are doing, and you just see a myriad of different faces.
Yeah.
Like you'll see some familiar guys that are like there's one guy I saw online a lot, but like then you'll see like like a bunch of different new
New faces.
dungeon masters. I'm like, well, that's wild to have that many people, and I think it's wicked cool, and I don't say wicked cool. I don't know why I said that. That
wicked cool, you said wicked
it must be. It must be really cool. I'm using a phrase I never say, but like you're paying them. Like I remember the first time Ross told me that when he was doing like tumbleweeds and stuff, that he'd at least give a little bit of money to each comic that went up. That does.
Yeah.
That is better. Like
Right.
for your time to go somewhere and get a little bit of money to.
It's always more of an insult to me when someone's like, "Here's $10."
Right.
Slap another hand. I'm joking.
Yeah, we give them a stipend.
level 10 economy. Level 10.
I said level
water.
10. Here's the 10. Yeah, we give them a stipend for their materials and everything for
Nice.
setting the game up, because it is a lot of work that they put through to create these stories. Even if they reuse them, they have mileage, right, when you create these things, and they're super creative, and we think that deserves value. But then they also get tipped by the players.
Nice.
So that, and that's a tip share with all of our DMs at the event. So everyone gets a little bit to take home, and, even if it just covers their prolific bar tab,
But let's
that
talk
helps.
about the real thing. Let's talk about the charity.
Yeah,
I mean,
absolutely.
like over like what, 40 grand?
Over 40 grand in
Nice.
3 years, and that's just in monetary donations from our players. We've also donated a lot of material goods, whether it's to individual charities. Like we've donated books in the past to the Zebra Coalition so that they could run D&D on their own. Zebra Youth now, sorry. And we've donated, food for Second Harvest. We've donated clothes for Mustard
Good on
Seed.
you for getting names right. I still call it Clear Channel.
Yeah.
People make a slight
It'll
pivot.
always be Clear Channel to me.
I'm like, oh, I'm down at the Citrus Bowl, man.
Yeah.
Sorry.
iHeartRadio. You stole that from iHeart New York. I saw it. It was everywhere.
I saw it on the shirts.
Yeah, you
Yeah.
can't just name yourself. You can't just name yourself forcing us to love you. You can't do that.
Right.
Then you make us say iHeartRadio. I don't heart radio. I never have.
Yeah.
Sorry. We
No, it's
got
a good
triggered.
rant.
We got
It's-
triggered.
I get it. Yeah, so that's our main goal is to raise money for charity, and specifically local charity, hyper local charity.
Nice.
And we've gone to places where representatives of those charities are also there at dinners or whatever, and they're like, "Oh, you guys are Adventures on Tap," because we're just kind of like this nameless blob that donates over $1,000 every month to these different charities, and yeah, it's like, oh yeah, it's just a guy.
Did you say nameless blob?
Hey Fatso, what do you
That's
do?
me, man.
Fatso Jobs with Tommy V.
Yeah.
I like the ending.
The ending is good.
At least
The
we're
ending is good.
keeping it.
Yeah.
We'll keep. I'll tweak it. I'll tweak it a little.
The shark
Okay.
could be a little less.
Yeah, okay. All right. All right. You know what? I will take that into consideration. I know when I'm wrong.
This may be a testament to how stupid I am, and you should be scared by
Christine
this.
loves it when you say that.
But I still don't understand how to play Dungeons and Dragons, and like.
Well, do you not understand that it's kind of fluid and it's loose, and you're part of the story and the
You're
gaming?
telling a story. That's all.
Can you be a good player?
Yes.
Okay.
Well, you're already a bad player.
How dare you? How do you know that?
Because you got to open your mind. You got to be like a little more like.
Right.
My mind is open, man.
My mind is open, man.
I'll take some drugs in the drug drawer.
we have a drug drawer.
Oh, I'm aware.
So it's kind of, so you play fantasy football, and fantasy football is akin to a TTRPG. You are building a team, you are strategizing, you are filling weaknesses and building buffs.
Communicating with other players.
True. You're also writing fake narratives that people have told you that aren't even true, and you're telling other people that they're true.
When Christian McCaffrey catches a pass, I get 1 point PPR, and then when he runs every 10 yards, I get a certain amount of points. And then
but it's
all
random,
the stats,
right? To you, it's random. He's doing it, but it's still
but it's
random
all
to
written
you.
down in
You
the
killed a
rules.
goblin. You got 10 points.
Yeah.
Oh,
there
is
you
that
go.
all written down?
Yeah, man.
Okay, but how do I there's a real person
That's when he dies. You know what? How funny would
I
it
love
be?
seeing a short circuit live.
It would be
But
funny.
if there's a movie playing and I'm watching it, I'm like, a goblin 10 points.
No,
Right,
like you're telling the story. So
No, someone next to you just did it.
Yeah,
right.
the dungeon master's talking about it. He's like,
Yeah,
you got to
Yeah.
the cave. At the entrance of the cave, there's an army of there's a rogue army of goblins,
Okay, yeah.
and you got to fight them.
Okay, so
And
and then
you,
roll the
you
dice.
got your sword.
Mhm.
You got it. All
Yeah,
right,
yeah.
well, you got to roll your dice. Okay, what'd you roll?
I rolled 20.
Oh, but
I bet you did.
Yeah,
of
sorry.
course you did.
Yeah,
That's a big goblin.
Yeah, sorry. This goblin was a reverse goblin. You needed to get a 1.
Where's that written down?
Hey.
You just
Well,
made
it's
that
not
up.
written down.
You made
I'm
that
the
up because
dungeon-
of my goddamn
I'm
political
the dungeon
posts.
master, and I hate your political posts. Yeah, you knew it. I saw your sign in your
You're
yard.
biased
Yeah.
against me.
I saw the sign in your
I
yard.
knew it right when I sat down, and you asked me to take my hat off.
And right.
It was red.
And that's why it's best that we play with strangers, right, at our tables. We do have a lot. We have over 80% of our players return from event to event, which is insane.
Holy
like
crap, man.
any business that can claim that is, we're very
Well done.
grateful.
Congrats.
Yeah, we have a really good group of people, and we're always taking on more, which is excellent. But that's something that you deal with. You asked about being a good player. All of that is just checking in with your friends at the table and like being conscientious of what's going on at the table. And it's the same as like being a good party guest, right? That's all there is to it.
See, that's why I
is
think
this-
he would be good at it.
All right.
He's acting as if he's not. It's
I
not
got
making
it.
sense.
Okay.
But you are the ultimate host.
Hey,
of
someone's
a
got to
party.
be the third man.
Is there improv? Is this an element of improv?
Oh, totally.
Okay,
improv.
so you're okay.
100%.
So you're like, all right, go out on stage and then with these other people and start doing some improv and then
React
just
to
like,
what they're doing.
You got to yes and people and then to create a good show, you can't Michael Scott just start killing everybody with a big gun. That's the level 10.
He's got a gun, yeah.
So then you just always, participate and yes and
within
everybody.
reason. And what makes
And then you're putting on a show.
and
so
what
that-
makes the best story? Remember, he said that at the very beginning of this, right? You dominating
good choices.
with all level 10s and rolling all 20s is not the best story to me.
You're basically making a movie, a one-off improv, and then you're all in this together. It doesn't even matter who wins.
More
at the
alike than we are different.
and then you're all at the end of it. You're just like, all right, we created this movie all through improv, and now you have that as like a memory. Okay,
Yeah.
okay.
An
Now I
experience.
understand that.
I mean, you
experience.
took a back road, but you got there. Right? Like,
Yeah.
That's the core
It
of
was
it.
the
for sure.
gaming aspect of
Freaking
it.
exhausted. Like, I'm so tired right
Hey,
now.
whatever language it takes to make it make
I
sense.
need a
I was just-
Gatorade.
I was just trying to fit it into casino rules. I couldn't. I was like, oh, go improv. Now I understand.
What's the biggest game you guys have ever done? Like, how many participants can be in and what's
Yep.
the comfortable level?
So I think that's what it comes down to, right? We could really pack people in. We could put a lot of tables in, but we try and make sure that the biggest thing is audio, right? At some of these breweries, they're very
Right.
open,
Yeah,
and so
loud.
you can't have too many people. So we typically put 6 to a table plus a dungeon master, so 7. And then our minimum that we do at an event is 4 tables, but we've done up to 10.
That's a lot.
Yeah. we're gonna be at Tease Bros this weekend in Sanford,
Great.
and
Good
we're
spot.
we're trying to get up to 9 tables there. And then the following weekend, we're going to be at Conduit, which is a great heavy metal venue over on Aloma.
Yeah.
And we usually do 7 or 8 tables there. So it's a good group of people.
Is there an age requirement?
There isn't. We ask that if they're under 21, that they're accompanied by someone that is, and most of that is just so that the brewery doesn't see a bunch of kids in there, right? Somebody's got
What
to
if
buy
like
the
a
beer.
dad wanted to bring his kids?
What if my
Totally
girlfriend
acceptable,
looks
yeah.
really young?
That's on you, bro.
Yeah.
Yeah, we typically
She's
we
an
say
elf.
teenagers are good, right? It's harder when they get smaller, but we've done a full event for the Arbor School up in I want to say near Sanford, that it was just all kids, right? And we did a whole kids event.
That's awesome.
So the game itself can be applied to anyone or anywhere.
Is there considered like the best dungeon master in the world, or like at least high up ranked? Is like
There's fights about it for sure.
Okay.
Anything on the internet, there's going to be
Yeah.
rankings, right?
Especially when you're dipping your toe into, and I mean this with love, but this is a pretty nerdy thing.
Oh, it's
And
incredibly nerdy.
And I
yeah.
feel like nerds, if you really want to fight about like who's the best,
For sure.
like the nerds are pretty much the kings of that now on the internet. Like anywhere I go with something nerdy, best video game, best this, best that.
Well,
Yeah.
also, if you are really good at improving, you're probably
Yeah.
really good at this as well too. Because
Yeah, but I think you could be annoying, right? There's probably going to be the dungeon master. Like, okay, knock it off with the voices. We're just trying to
Could
kill
be.
some more.
Could be.
You know.
Well, I think the more you get into it, the more over the top, the better.
Right.
If,
It's a deep
if everybody
well,
else wants
right?
that,
You
right?
can take it as far as you can. Like to your point a second ago, there's a live play show called Dimension 20, right? They just sold out Madison Square Garden in 30 minutes and did a whole, like, they just played D&D in front of people and filled Madison Square Garden. And they sold it
Oh
out
my
in 30
God!
minutes.
Imagine the
I flew to Los
employees are like,
Angeles
"What
to
the
see them.
hell?
Yeah.
What?
I flew to Los Angeles to see Dimension 20 play at the Hollywood Bowl.
Yeah.
That's
Wait,
insane."
Hollywood Bowl's bigger than the Garden, isn't it?
I don't think so.
It's
Or no,
about
no, you're-
it's smaller, but
It's just more
still sold
culturally
out.
relevant.
Yeah.
Wow.
So-
Holy.
And that
crap.
many spectators went to.
It
To
was
watch
sold
people
out.
play D&D,
Yes.
not even play it.
Yep.
Okay, and then is it they're watching one game or multiple games?
They're watching one game with 6 or 7 improvers playing a game through a story.
Do they put on a bit of a show, or is
Absolutely.
it?
Oh, they had
Yes.
pyro.
Yes.
They had all sorts of crap. It's
Pyro.
crazy. Yeah.
Oh, that's dope.
And each
It was.
game, I wonder if they planned. Is it all improv, or do they plan out where they're going to go to make it more entertaining?
So that's where the Dungeon Master comes in, right? Where it again, it's a loose script where we have a story that we're trying to tell, and there's all things on the internet of how to tell that story properly, but you basically put your story hook in front of players and see where they go with it, and then you just try and make it make sense. But I mean, to your point a minute ago, right? The people that we have at our tables, it isn't just nerds that understand all of this stuff or care about Madison Square Garden selling out. We have mothers, fathers, brothers, sisters, everyone playing. And the thing I'm most proud about that we've built is the fact that we have such a diverse crowd, where if you go to conventions, if you go to a gaming store, you don't see that in the wild very often. So we have, almost 50% women, which is incredible for this space. We have just a ton of families that come out and play. We have a lot of people that come and bring friends, or they bring their spouse, or they bring their girlfriend or boyfriend, so that they can do something together. And it's just telling a story together, and it's a fun hobby to jump into.
A lot of people in the chat room, we've got Robert, who is one of our listeners, not in Florida. He listens to Dungeons and Daddies, not
Yeah.
a BDSM
Yep.
podcast, and he went to see them in California, completely sold out. Other people in there talking about,
There are some
other,
incredible storytellers out there.
Yeah, I've always thought it was pretty cool, and I remember playing. I never really got into Dungeons and Dragons, but I remember as a young boy playing a Batman role play game
Yeah.
that I really, really liked, and I think I still have it, like the book.
There's
that it
always
came with.
a game to tell the story you're trying to tell. If
Yeah.
you're trying to tell Batman, there's a Batman game out there.
It was
Yeah.
cool. It was like Batman versus the Joker, and it had like
Mm-hmm.
different things you had to do and different add-ons. Very complicated, but I liked it.
I think this is my kryptonite, though.
Okay.
because
All right, that's fair.
I don't think
a
I
deep
could
well.
do it, even though I could improv.
You're already
But see,
doing it.
like,
You're doing it right now.
What's weird to me is that the
Don't
guy,
you tell me
like,
what
he
I'm
wants he wants to be the best at everything. So
Uh-huh.
that's the last thing you would expect to hear from the guy that wants to be the best is I can't do this.
Yeah, yeah.
See what I'm doing? You see what I'm doing?
It is the
Well,
reverse
yeah,
psychology.
well,
yeah.
If there was a way to quantify it, like there was some machine that was like,
Oh, you mean like an applause meter? leader? Who's the best at Dungeons and Dragons? Is it Tom?
Because it's up to other
gotta
people.
get one of those.
Why does
I
does the value of it being the best, the worst, why does that matter so much to you?
I don't know. That's
Again,
my
to break your
kryptonite.
brain, like to win at D&D, it's to have a good time, right? If you had a good
Oh,
time,
He's dead. He's dead now. Now you killed him. You know what? I'm gonna have to ask you to leave. That's the
Sorry.
only thing you can't say in our studio.
It can't be my
winning was the friends you made along the
That's
way.
never been my objective ever.
You might be bad at it then, I'm afraid to say.
No, I think it's a perfect scenario because everyone around you is having fun, and when you do
True.
something that's good, you're going to get a reaction.
True.
Like
He would be
I've
good
been
at
in
it.
games
He'd be good at it.
with Adventures on Tap where people are like buying me shots because of something I did in a pretend fantasy world, and it feels good. Like everybody's laughing and
Well, I like
cheering you
shots.
on. Yeah. Like,
There we go.
Yeah.
Pull him in with the drinking.
Hey, great job doing that orc's taxes in the cave.
I have said a long time ago
You joke,
when
but
Crystal
it's,
started
yeah.
dragging me to plays and things like that. It's like as long as they serve alcohol, I'm in. I mean,
Yeah.
for anything,
Oh, yeah.
This
I'll
is
go
better
and
than
watch
that.
D&D. I'll watch anything. I'll,
This has got humor in it.
Yeah.
It's got action in it. You
Yeah,
know.
yeah.
You've
Yeah.
got sadness in it because there
Yes.
are going to be
For
people
sure.
that don't hit the right thing, and maybe they exit or maybe they die. Who knows?
This is why we need to serve alcohol at middle school band recitals.
I get that.
Yeah. Well,
if they
I
did,
mean,
a lot more people come.
that's what my young girlfriend says. I know that'd be funny.
So Nick, throw out the website one
Yeah.
more time, and if other breweries are listening to this and
Yeah.
want you to come to their brewery, just go through the website.
Yeah, I mean, I'm sure they've heard of us if they're in the Central
Okay,
Florida area.
yeah.
We've reached out to them, but please, we just went out to a new one called Violet's Venom over in Kissimmee that we're going to be setting stuff up with them as well. But it's aotorlando.com. You can find us at Adventures on Tap on Twitch, where we play weekly. You can find us on Instagram, which is where most of our news goes out. On our website, right there on the front page, you can get a link to our Discord, which is a huge community that is just a bunch of people, nerds or not, that are trying to have fun, play games, and sometimes they spin off and do their own games. So if you're just looking for a group to play with, that's there for you as well.
Oh,
and
nice.
it's a great community.
I was watching
got
Christine. I was watching you on there on YouTube.
On Twitch?
Yeah.
Yep.
That's
Yeah,
cool.
we
Yeah.
got her on our
Twitch,
Twitch.
yeah.
Absolutely, yeah.
Very cool. You can
Yep.
watch Christine play if you
Awesome.
want to, Tom.
Yep.
So,
And then
I
if you
will.
And we have a backlog on. We have a backlog on YouTube as well.
I've seen some Twitch gamers that Daniel showed me, and very
It's
interested
not that
in it.
kind of
Oh, it's not that.
pools and hot tubs. It's a wild one.
That exists. I seen it.
Hey.
Daniel's like, "Hey, come here." I'm
There's
like, "Oh,
horny
yeah."
art in every art form.
Yeah.
The spider,
like,
right?
What is she doing? I was like,
And do you want
appears
to talk about Zymerium and the offer
Oh, yeah,
for the
absolutely.
listeners?
Plug it, please.
Yeah.
So we're playing at Zymerium August 2nd, and we're opening up a table for the millionaires to come in and I think there was going to be a sweepstakes or a contest or
Yep.
something
We'll
to
be.
get a
I'm
spot at the
working
table.
with Tracy. We'll have a
Oh, no way.
dedicated BDM table at the event at Zymerium.
Zymerium's,
Okay.
that room is beautiful.
Yeah,
Holy
yeah.
smokes,
Yeah.
man. That place. That's a perfect place to play Dungeons and Dragons.
It
I
looks
feel
like Dracula's law offices.
It really does. Yeah.
Exactly.
To win, okay.
Like that, the building's
Hey.
amazing. What they transformed Zymerium into. Like
Drac got me $8 million.
you're
Thanks,
drinking mead.
Drac.
It's gorgeous, yeah.
Yeah, it is
Yeah.
super nice. So,
Injured in an accident? Let's get started.
I like how he's
Someone bites your neck.
So that was my. I can do a
Neck-
good
neck
Dan Doolin,
bite.
but Andrea it makes Andrea mad. Injured in an accident? Let's get started. My videographers take my eyeballs
come
and they
on.
blow out the saturation so much that my eyes
on.
look like an LED light on a VCR. Let's get started.
Christine, thanks so much for helping us out all
absolutely.
these
Love
years.
you. Thank
Christine.
you so much.
And anytime you have any extra time,
if you guys
I
have to-
need more help.
Private D&D lessons.
Yeah. No, I mean,
I like
you know, a bit more business-wise.
Gotcha,
All
gotcha.
shambles.
All right.
All right.
We gotta get outta here.
Yeah, we'll see you tomorrow.
We're still on Twitch and YouTube.
Yep.
Just to let you know.
Thank you guys.
Yeah, of course.
John, that was a really good one, man.
Yeah,
Yeah,
good.
that was really
Glad to hear it.
very funny. Thank you. And I meant everything I said. The website and everything is so organized. I like the thing. I didn't get a chance to say it, but I like how everyone has their role of like, and it's very official. It's like I'm in charge. I'm on the financial side. I'm on the I like that. Like
Yeah.
that's cool.
Yeah, it's usually me, but I'm many of the hats. But we're always recruiting. Right now, we're pivoting to, we were dumb on the business side when we started setting up. Again, we did it in a weekend, and so now we're trying to like shift our organization to be a 501c3 and like actually get grants for some of the stuff that we already do and be able to raise money better and not pay taxes on the donations that are coming in, which is impossibly difficult. So, we're in the middle of shifting all of that. And so we have people coming on as board members and things like that. Wow. And we're in the middle of all of that right now, but it's been a labor of love for sure.
Yeah, it's exciting, man. That'll be very, very cool.
Yeah. I mean, the 501c3 thing is difficult, just because it comes with, so much tax benefits that they don't give them out too often.
Easily,
right,
Especially because I imagine South Florida ruins. We're too close to South Florida.
Ruin a lot of that.
There's always bad apples, right? We learned that the way we're doing it is genuinely the hardest possible way to do it, which is to have an existing business and then pivot to a charity, because exactly what you're talking about, people have ruined it. So they made it incredibly difficult. To start one on your own, it's like one page. So
they were like, "How can I pay no taxes?" Oh, here's one.
Let's ruin them.
Yep.
Scene change.
Okay.
Right? What time is Mo?
He's coming any minute now.
Okay. All right. We'll be right back, guys.
Call Tom and Dan now. 1-844-TOM and Dan. That's 1-844-TOM, the letter N, Dan. Leave him a message, and you just might hear yourself on the show. 1-844-TOM-DAN. Call them now. Or later.
Knock, knock. Who's there? Squirt. Squirt who? Squirt is P. You dumb rednecks.
Right about now, you are listening to the incredible
A Mediocre Time with Tom and Dan, who kindly remind you that squirt is P.
All right, we're back. Oh, that's the wrong date, you mother effer. Okay, it's time to keep things moving. Has anybody bought anything nice on? The old Amazon Prime? Is today Prime Day or was yesterday Prime Day? Oh, it's 3 days. So they shouldn't call it Prime Day. It should be Prime Days.
It's just another day of Prime Days.
Yeah, and then it just feels gross, right? Like, it's all gross. And I don't even know if it's a deal.
It's not.
Yeah, I don't think it is.
We work at Circuit City, and you know all the deals we had were just like, we put the fake original.
I love Circuit City. I was Circuit City over Best Buy. I like any building that looks like it's being plugged into the earth. Man, I used to shop at that Circuit City. That was a good one. That was a good Circuit City. I was Circuit City over Best Buy, Mo. Were you Circuit City or Best Buy? The Circuit City building would look like it was being plugged into the earth. How cool is that? Oh, I bet it was. And it was at a time when I bet the sexual harassment at Circuit City was just like off the chart. It's a different time.
As a kid, I would go to Circuit City all the time, though.
Oh, yeah.
Play with the keyboards, go through the CD aisle. They used to have like a huge CD
Yeah,
section.
I would go through there. See you guys. Let's see what else I would go to when I got my car. When I was bored, I'd go to Best Buy and I'd walk the aisles. Then you drive over to like Sam Ash.
Oh yeah.
And you'd play all the drum sets, you know. Like go there and play all the electric drum sets and walk around, and then
hit Toys R Us, ride some bikes around the store.
Yeah, maybe hit like I'd hit Toys R Us and look at action figures or something, games, video games, something like that. Where'd Bustecker go? Was he stinking up our bathroom?
Yeah. Probably.
I knew it.
Old stinky
That
bus.
guy, I know. I don't trust that guy.
Nobody should.
Yeah, he's
Never trust.
always up to no good. All right. Did I write that down? Yes, I wrote it down. Yep. Okay. Would you like to start, buddy?
Yeah. Hold on.
Skate-A-Thon. You ready to skate?
I'm not scared.
I think there's a lot of people. I may not now because there's gonna be so many people.
I mean, I'm curious to see how many people actually sign up.
I'm gonna do my form. I'm gonna do my form. All right, Mr. Van, would you like to start?
Yes.
All right, here we go. In 3, 2.
Welcome to Corporate Time with Tom and Dan. I'm Tom.
I am Dan. We are live on Twitch and YouTube. Welcome to the show, everybody, and check us out. Just search for @TomandDan Live wherever you stream your podcasts.
Mo DeWitt's here. How you doing, Mo?
Hey guys.
So this Saturday at the Cimarron Skateway.
It's happening.
It's this Saturday?
It's time.
It's the Just Call Mo Family Skate-A-Thon.
Yeah.
Mo DeWitt has rented out Cimarron Skateway from 5 to 7 p.m. You got to register at justcallmo.com/skate.
Yes.
Fill out the waiver just so you can get in faster because I've been to Cimarron
But we know
Skateway
you're not going to do that.
a million times.
I've been saying this because I feel like my negativity will push them to do it, Mo. Because I keep telling them, I'm like, I doubt that any of you will do this because I know how stupid you all are, but they're going to do it now because, see, I'm calling them out.
You beat them down.
I'm calling them out.
The Cimarron Skateway employees will stand there with like iPads.
With a cattle prod.
No.
Get inside! Get inside!
And then they'll ask you your name, and if you're like Tom Van, and then they go down, they're like, oh, you
I
filled
don't
out.
see it here.
Like, oh, God damn. They told me to, hold on.
I don't see
And
Tom Van here.
And then I get on
Are
my
you
phone.
sure you did it, sir?
And then I'm asking my wife, I'm like, what's my password? God damn it. And then I'm like, what's my email
And then
password?
you do that move that people say we were like, I filled it out, but I didn't hit send. Well, that is that. You get the hell in the back back of the line then.
Yeah. Then once you fill out the actual what's it called? The waiver.
The waiver. My God. You all right, buddy? You're gonna be all right.
And
all right.
they have a medication.
You want to talk about it?
Mo, I gotta find a new doctor.
Did your doctor retire and you're out of your medication?
Yeah.
Call Mo now.
So then he told me a long time ago that I was like, oh, I'll get
my
to
doctor sold it. Now I don't have my medication and I'm losing my mind.
And
Mo DeWitt got me $8.5 million.
And then he got bought out by some like mega corporation that does subscription only medical or whatever.
Yeah, that's what I have.
So then
when I get my pills, when I get my crazy pills, they come in a jug with a 90-day. It's a big jug of crazy.
So they told me a long time ago, they're like, you gotta get a new doctor. He's good. This guy's going.
And you're like, he'll be here forever.
No, I was like, well,
what do you know?
So then, my Adderall runs out.
Oh, don't talk about it.
I'm like, oh, God.
And now when he calls every big black mama at every doctor's office he calls, he'll call her up, and I hear it from in here, and he calls her up. He's like, oh, he's very serious. He's like, hello, this is Thomas Vand. And then the lady will be like, okay, baby. And then Tom, I'd like to make an appointment for a new patient, please. I was like, okay, and what's it for? I need Adderall. Oh, no, baby, we can't do that, baby. You're a drug addict, baby.
They're like, get out of here. Cracky, they discriminate against me, Mo, and then they're like, "Oh,
Did you just say they incriminate you or discriminate?"
And they're like, "We don't do that here, bye-bye."
They don't.
And then I tell
we
them,
don't do drug addicts, baby.
And I tell them my,
and they hang up on him.
The name of my insurance. They're like, "We've never heard of that." I'm like, "You've never heard of it?" And I'm like, this is your job. You've worked here for a while. Like, you've never
what's
even
the name
heard
of your
it.
insurance, baby? My insurance is America's Spiciest Insurance.com.
No, it doesn't have a name. It's all letters. I'm like, it's PHCS. And they're like, what? And I'm like, that's all it says. And I'm like, that's all.
He's been doing this all day. He's called 9 different doctor's offices, and they all hang up on him because they think he's just a
that crack addict with the fake insurance is calling again.
Yeah. And where do drug addicts live? Right next to the skating rink that you can be at this weekend.
I'm gonna walk there.
Yeah, you can be at the skating rink and see Castleberry's favorite Adderall addict out there just pacing crazy.
Started having to cut it in half and then cut that in half. Now I'm
this guy's running on quarters.
It's barely working, Mo. Anyway, sorry.
Let's be serious for a second. Let's talk about the Idaho murder.
Yes. Just what I came here.
No, but seriously, the Idaho murders, like a plea deal, really? A plea deal? Like, okay, I don't fully understand plea deals, but I do know emotion very well because I rule my life. Emotion rules my life, and I'm wild. I'm wild in the streets.
Wild and free.
So I was disappointed in this because, if you were a parent or if you were somebody doing this, you would want to see somebody punished. But I guess you got to take what you can get, right? How do these type of things happen, or what is that?
Well, I mean, I think it's tough because you have multiple victims and multiple families involved.
Right.
So my understanding is some of the families were not thrilled about the plea deal, but I'm sure others didn't really want to relive that whole part of their life, didn't want to relive the murders, didn't want to hear every detail of the murder. So, from the prosecutor's perspective, they guarantee that this guy's basically never going to get out of prison. He's going to be there for the rest of his life.
There you go.
And so they don't have to go through the expense of the trial, the emotional impact on the family members that don't want to go through the trial. And there's always a risk when you go to trial. Obviously, it seems in this case that the evidence was overwhelmingly against him. But still, you never know what's going to happen at trial. And there's also no guarantee that they would have gotten the death penalty. I'm not sure exactly what their standard is there. But still, he would have to be convicted and then would have to be sentenced to death. So this was a way of them basically saving the expense, saving the emotional trauma, and just saying, hey, you're going to jail for the rest of your life. And calling it a
I've
day.
been trying to look at that. Like, I kind of use this as almost like an exercise in my own life of being like, well, stuff like that's going to happen. Like how do you handle it? Can you handle that? Like, because I think the more adult attitude is like, well, like at least you got. I mean, that is top tier.
Right.
You're not going to get that
No, that's
emotional
closure.
aspect of wanting him to suffer or die or something. And do you even want that anyway? I think you got to kind of look at yourself and be like,
want it.
no, I know. But your gut does. But do you
He
really?
exercises every day. He plays chess after lunch. You're
Right,
like,
no,
this guy
I
got
know.
a better life
You
than
make
I do.
good points. You make good points.
I mean, some people would say,
You got a library.
death is maybe the easy way out too. I mean, maybe suffering in prison for the rest of his life is more of a punishment.
Yay! Thank you, Alan Jackson from the other room.
Yeah, I like old school medieval torture.
Yeah.
I mean, I'll tell you this: he could probably get his Adderall in prison.
I know. Well, that's what I yelled at the doctor receptionist.
You a drug addict, baby.
Like the Idaho murderer can get his Adderall. Anyway, so let's move on, Mo, to a subject that's closer
From
to
Adderalls to murder to
our business.
We like to take it all around the world here, Mo.
So the CBE group is doing another BDM barbecue.
They are.
And we're working it out. We actually, me and Daniel rented the pavilion out in Brevard. It's at F. Burton Smith Regional Park in Melbourne.
What'd that set you guys back?
Yeah.
$25?
Old F. Burton Smith.
How dare you?
You know what?
We can't rent out a whole Skateway. I was in the meeting. I was like, oh, wow.
Some of us can rent out a whole movie theater or a skating rink, and some of us can get the old F. Burton. And we're F. Burton kind of guys.
It's big, though.
I'm sure it's a nice pavilion. I'm sure it's lovely.
Oh, it's huge.
It fits 1,000 people.
Do you know
Like,
how many
it's too
homeless
big.
people can boof under this pavilion?
Or have.
I mean, 70. This is at least 70 to 75 crack addicts can get at it under
Like,
this
do
pavilion.
you want to pay extra to open up the kitchen? No.
Yeah, shut the kitchen down.
Do you want to open up the bathrooms?
They're like, do you want a water hose? I'm like, no hose.
Only the female bathrooms. The men
Yeah, guys can go in the woods.
Anyway,
Half price.
so then I was gonna get a big water slide.
Okay, he and his dumb wizard friend they think that kids want
They
these.
love it.
They don't. You've done it you've done it for 10 years. 10 years of water slides. It's over. It's over.
And all the kids love it for a little bit.
Usually they
get tired.
They go down in
it
the
was
first
out
hour.
there in the morning,
The
and no one
first-
even looked
Then
at
The
it.
first hour it's red hot, and then the rest of the day it just sits out there and
done.
bakes in the sun.
Yeah.
Yeah. I hear the generator running those dollar signs. Anyway, so then I was gonna get this water slide, and then for the BDM's kids that come to the barbecue, or anybody, really, it's open to anybody. That's why we're talking about it, because the damn pavilion is so big that you know.
It's giant, and the last thing you want to do is get like the big F. Burton, and then 3 people show up. You got a water slide. You sit down there. It's like Bus Decker. I got 300 hot dogs, and nobody's eating them. Like hot dogs for days.
And then so I was gonna rent this, but then I was like, oh man, what if some kids are flying down there and then they fly off the side and whatnot.
Yeah, what if one of them, you put it close to the parking lot, one of them falls off the top of it.
But then I was like, well, I'll just put it in my name personally, because then if a kid does fly off, then they're like, oh, well, just call Mo. Mo calls my number, and they're like, oh, I'm screwed.
I feel like all you got to do, Mo, is get your story straight. So you put it in your name,
What if I was
and
out there
you claim I said only my sons and Maisie could get on it.
Oh, okay. I put a sign that says only Tom
But
Vance.
a little sign.
But then I take a cell phone picture.
Yeah, and
Anyway,
you tweet it out.
Can I do that, Mo? Get a water slide?
Give it a try. We'll see how it turns out for you.
Okay, let me ask the question
Mo's
for
my
real.
man.
We are running into a problem with a lot of our events where a lot of the things we want to do for our listeners, we are afraid to do it. Because there's just so much going on. Like, can we get a water slide and be okay? Is that something we can do these days?
Do you have an arbitration clause in the BDM membership?
I'd have to see what I copied from the internet. I copied something from the internet back in the
When
day.
you sign up to become a BDM, you should just have a general liability waiver in there saying you waive all rights. And if you're killed at a Tom and Dan event, that's your problem.
Okay,
well,
that's
wait a
what I
minute.
like.
Somebody's done this before. Wasn't this a Disney thing or something? Yeah, let's do this.
Carnival Cruise.
Yeah, Carnival.
Carnival tried it too.
We did not guarantee a good boat.
Okay, so let's talk about the poop cruise. I don't know. Did you watch it?
I watched it, yeah.
Okay, you do. So
I've watched it twice. That's how much I liked it.
So at the end of the poop cruise, they said that if you buy, and they changed it, I guess, after this, but if they're like,
thanks to a maritime lawyer. By the way, I think you need a ponytail like a maritime
And
lawyer.
just smoking cigars all day.
I look like a maritime lawyer.
You could be a maritime lawyer.
Yeah, once I get my ponytail, I will be.
So they put in, I guess, when you buy a ticket on Carnival before the poop cruise, in the fine print, it said, we do not guarantee you safe passage or food or a place for the bathroom, but we do not guarantee you anything. And then it says that in there, and then that's why, I guess the lawyer was like, oh, we can't do anything. But I'm like, isn't this a ridiculous guarantee? Don't people like common sense would be like, oh, when I buy a cruise, you're at least saying I should expect a reasonable amount of safety.
Right. Which, and you're also buying a cabin, which theoretically should have running water and things like that. And I think there's an argument that clause was overreaching, and they did settle that case. I think everybody got like $500 or something,
and a free cruise.
And I'm guessing that's kind of why they settled it. There's probably an argument on the maritime lawyer side where, hey, this clause is overreaching. This shouldn't be enforceable. We're going to challenge this. And Carnival said, well, let's just pay out some money, not have the bad publicity, and we'll change the terms of service anyways.
Also, everybody was like surprised that they were being cheated. The name of the company is Carnival.
It's run by charities.
Yeah, exactly. What do you expect? I mean, it's in the name.
Yeah. Well, and this, I guess for companies like to have something in fine print that's unreasonable, is that a thing too? Or like, can you just have unlimited fine print of things that get you out of being sued as a company?
No, I mean, that's what we call overreaching. So if the contract is too one-sided, it can be considered overreaching, and some of those terms can be nullified that way by saying this contract is essentially too one-sided. It really shouldn't be enforceable. And so that you can challenge it that way, essentially.
Do people ever try to do the I didn't sign that old Daffy Duck of the urban joking
like
around for you?
They signed it with like
like were you like just because it's not like you get a notary or anything for most contracts, like so do people say like this is not my signature? Like seems easy to say that, right?
I think there was actually a recent case. It was a trampoline park where
I love trampoline parks.
I know. He's attracted
It's the funnest park.
Yeah, I can't remember. I think either the kid like lied about his age or his like older brother signed the contract for the kid, claiming it was him. There was something where they essentially defrauded the trampoline park when they were signing the waivers.
Never defraud a trampoline
and then,
park. They'll come to get you.
Yeah, he broke his arm or something, and the parents tried to sue, and ultimately said, no, you can't be rewarded for your bad act of saying that wasn't my signature, gotcha. The waiver is still enforceable, so they couldn't sue the trampoline park. But it was something like that.
Nice.
Gotcha. Yeah.
So yes, people do try it.
Okay. I think they're trying more because
you would think
it's not like someone's watching you or videotaping you sign something, and most people just write a line. Like I'm sure, like I do, or they're not writing.
Kind of scribble.
Yeah, they're scribbling out a line, and even thinking in the back of your head, like I'm scribbling this just in case it comes back to haunt me that I'm signing this because I'm too lazy to read all this stuff.
Let me just remind you to sign your waivers at Cimarron Skateway.
Am I correct though in thinking that it's more about the squiggle and less about what the squiggle actually is because you're still signing it?
Yeah, you're still
You know what I mean? Like,
right.
It doesn't matter
Your
really
intent was
what
to
you're
agree.
doing. You put your finger on there, even if you make an X. To me, I'm like...
That's your mark.
Yeah, to me, I'm like, that's enforceable. It would be better if you just actually didn't sign it.
Yeah, but then you can't come in.
Right.
And I want the sweet trampoline.
I know you do. You love them.
I want to do backflips.
Yeah, and you would think trampolines...
And impress other kids.
You would think trampolines in his household would get less popular. They're getting more popular. More popular in the
they're giving away for free now on Facebook Marketplace.
Did you ever have a trampoline, or would you never have one just because of what you do?
I mean, I enjoy a good trampoline, but probably not the best idea to buy one.
Yeah.
We'll go to Tom's house for that.
Yeah, he doesn't even have enough room for it now because his whole backyard is a Hawaiian paradise. Have you seen the pictures of his backyard?
I have not.
Oh, my God. He's got, 17 different kinds of palm trees?
It's 22. Thank you very
much.
No
you've
big
added
deal.
a few. You've added a few.
Cops will be raiding him for all the stolen palm trees.
There's no QR code on them or whatever the hell.
We'd be a successful business if this guy would stop stealing from Gaylord Palms. He's always just driving down there, driving up I-4 with a palm tree in the back.
Let's talk water parks. If you are, like, how can a water park be liable if you are injured at a water park on a slide? Is it one of these things where once you go down a slide, going back to you signed the waiver, you knew the risks, and so, or if there's something egregious, then that's where the lawsuit comes in.
I mean, it depends what happened, right? So there was that case recently, which I think is still ongoing, where the fat guy went down the water slide at, was it Blizzard Beach? It was one of the Disney parks.
Oh, wait, hold on. I can play this real quick.
Hey, Fatso, what do you do? It's Fatso Jobs with Tommy V.
Okay, there we go. Brightens everybody's day.
Anyways, he went down this water slide, got injured. The claim now is that he was too large to go down the water slide. The weight limit was like 300 pounds. He weighed like 330 pounds. Cool. So the question there is whether it was properly posted, whether he's warned about it, and he disobey the warning or if they didn't disclose that information, or at least properly disclose the information to him. So there's that instance.
The best water slide I've ever been on is the one in the Carolinas where you walk to the top. I went on this 2 years ago, and you walk to the top, and then they have a scale.
Yeah.
There's a lot of them have scales
And
now.
you stand on
There's
the
one at
scale,
Blizzard
and they
Beach.
weigh you, and if you're over, you have to walk back down the stairs.
Walk of shame.
Yeah, man.
There's one at Blizzard Beach. It's a group one though, so you get on and then there's no numbers.
How
or
bad
whatever.
do you feel when you step on it? It's just you, and they're like, "Sorry, denied."
but they also they're one person in the group. They're like, you man, you have to go over here. That's what they didn't know. Everybody knows. We can do the math.
I'm
on
surprised
why
we
you
have
move
those.
one.
Like, honestly, at this day and age, I'm surprised we have those because there's a green
safety.
light and a red light. No, but I'm surprised people haven't been fighting against them. You know.
I like it when the person gets all the way to the roller coaster and then they deny them access. It's like, how did you not know
I'll
when
take
you got
it-
in line?
I'll take it one step
Like,
further, and
you
I
know.
saw this in Dollywood. I like it when you go to use the chair to see if you can ride the ride and you get stuck. That's what I like. I'm sorry. No one should have laughed at that. Mo didn't laugh at that.
I laughed at that. That was fun.
He did. He laughed at it. But I did see that. I saw that at Dollywood.
So Mo,
Are you doing your challenge with bus, or has that been canceled? Because we're gonna run out of time here, and I'm not gonna get to ask about it.
Well, I've been leaning toward canceling it.
Okay, that's fair.
Because
That's fair.
I can't see. Well, okay.
What feat of strength are you gonna do in front of your sons though to make them love you?
Well, I'm gonna get roller skates on, and then this will be the first time I've ever skated with them at Cimarron Skateway.
Are you gonna hold their hands? Don't hold their hands. I'll take photos. If you hold their hands,
I wanna hold their
I'll
hands.
take a picture. I'll put them on every telephone pole in the Castleberry area.
It is only because they never asked me to. If they asked me to, like even when they were young kids, they never like, "Come on, Dad, we'd have much more fun if you did it." They never said that.
It's because you always do what they do.
I know.
See, I don't do anything, so Maisie's always begging, like, "Get out of here, Dad! Get out of here!" So when I do get out there, I'm a hero. I don't have to do much.
Yeah. So my sons never asked me, but I'll be out there skating because I'm like, see, everybody's here for me.
Now, Bus,
Don't
is Bus Decker, are you gonna keep it like? Yeah, you can jump on there. Are you gonna keep it between the lines and sort of mellow, or are you gonna be putting on a show?
Oh, I'm putting on the show.
Okay,
all the time.
Yeah, okay.
All the time.
So that's how I know
You're
that
skating backwards.
Yeah.
I skated it the other day. I shot a video to promote this.
So
It bothers you that Bus is so much better at skating at you than
grew up in Detroit. Like if you
So you could have roller skated outside all year long here in Florida. I only had a few months because it snows all the time up there.
if
Does
this,
your wife skate?
No, because she's afraid she's gonna fall.
Okay.
if this is water skiing competition, I got Bus Decker on that.
Yeah, but I wouldn't say I could beat you in that because I know I can't.
No, but if I gave you a head start,
What, of years and years and years of practice?
That is, like I was thinking, if you gave me a half court length head start, like I started at 12 and you start at 6, and then I can get back to 6 before you can.
Are we doing any of the games?
We can. They said we can do whatever we want over there.
You got to do jumbo dice, four
Yeah,
corners.
yeah,
You got to
yeah,
do
yeah.
4 corners. That's fun.
I don't even know what that is. I'm
What?
just used to skating around.
Well, you'd have like 4 different corners of the rink, and then you take the dice and you throw it.
And then when it lands on the number, that gets
Yeah.
eliminated. Then you go to different groups, and then you
Yeah,
narrow
you've
down
done all
the
this with
ones,
your sons.
and then you win a cash prize.
Yeah.
T&D is willing to put up $50
Yeah,
cash.
we'll put $50 cash on it.
in T&D cash.
$50
Well,
and
Redeemable for
Well, it's a merch credit. It's a merch
well,
credit.
every one
price
yeah.
Clearance merch.
Every one Tom and Dan dollars worth 50 cents in our merch store. It's a 2-to-1 scenario on I think the exchange rate on.
I'm just hoping to get Mo on some skates.
We'll
He's
see.
already
we'll
said
see.
no. He's
Is,
already said no.
is Gravedigger still coming out for Tom to jump on his roller skates?
Yeah, are you gonna jump Gravedigger on roller skates? That'd be badass.
I haven't roller skated in over 30 years. I was thinking, I was like, since Hot Wheels in Miami, I was the last time I put on a pair of quads.
Oh, this is gonna be
roller
good.
skates.
God, yeah, it's been at least 20 years. for
You're going
me.
to fall instantly.
And I got ice skate. I put on ice skates like 6 months ago in Colorado, and it was way harder than I thought in my head.
Now, did you
But I
have
was like,
regular ice
skating-
skates, or did you have black hockey skates with a double edge?
regular ice skates, like the rental ones. That they gave me.
Yeah, girl skates. I think hockey skates are easier with the.
I think they are
with the rounded edge, right? It's got like a
Well, there's no toe pick on it.
Right. I think I like the hockey skates better.
Are you gonna get rollerblades, inline, or 4 quads?
the rental quads.
All right.
Why don't you bring your one wheel and really show it?
No, you're not allowed on the surface.
Did you ask?
Yeah. No, I
That never stopped you before.
I emailed multiple times.
I emailed Mr. Cimarron.
Until they told me.
I interviewed Ron. I emailed Ron.
Mr. Way. Anyway, sorry, Mo. JustCallMo.com. If you are injured on the go, just call Mo. Lots of BDMs and lots of our listeners have, and they are very pleased. And we've been coming out with multiple testimonials because
they're accident prone.
They are very clumsy people.
Yeah, people get into accidents a lot more than you think. I
did. Mo helped me out.
They're the fat guys on the water slides.
Right?
I mean, let's
good.
not judge. Let's not
I
judge.
bet it feels good to be bigger and to have more. It's kind of like when you use Wario in Mario Kart. I bet it feels better. People can't push you around. When you're Bowser and you go into a slide in the turn, they can't push you out of it because you got some girth. If you're Toad, people are pushing you around all the time. That's how I feel in life.
I'm too fat to fail.
Fill out the waiver
Yes.
so you're not doing it in the parking lot, asking your wife or your Yahoo email password.
Please do it.
And then make sure to register, because if we do hit the capacity, then
You got to skate outside.
Yeah. And you can't have skates. You got to walk and pretend like you're skating. Yeah, it's rough.
We can go running on the trail right next to Cimarron Skateway. Is my normal. I run right by it.
Yeah.
And then I see some kids vaping over there.
Yeah, the vape kids.
And then when I run by, I want to make sure they know I'm cool, bro.
Yeah.
So you're asking to buy some Addy from them.
How often are you looking
like, hey, I'm
at
not
everyone
judging.
around you and analyzing how cool they think you are? Because it seems like the
Everyone I
level
walk
is
by.
so high, right? Like you're like, oh, hope those vaping kids think I'm cool.
No, I just don't want them to think I'm some sort of narc.
Yeah, so they think
like
a 40-year-old man in a tight running shirt
I don't
is
even think
cool.
they notice you.
Like no, I run.
He thinks they
I
do,
run-
and that's what makes the ego.
But they don't.
No,
they don't care.
Like,
No.
They're
most-
too busy vaping.
Most nerd runners will run through the plume and be like,
Oh
like
my
a-
God, unhealthy.
No, I run through and then I breathe it in. So just like I want some.
Oh, cotton candy, good choice, bros. Do you say cotton candy's my favorite too, bros?
All right.
No cap, and then he yells, "No cap."
All right.
I like blue Raz is my favorite vape juice too, bros. No cap.
We'll see you at Cimarron Skateway this Saturday.
Stop
5 to 7.
glazing me, bro.
I'll be there with my sons. Daniel will be there. Is Maisie coming?
She's got to work.
She'll
No, she'll be there. She'll be there.
Maisie will be
Yeah,
there.
Maisie will be there.
All right. We'll see you on Saturday, and we'll take a quick break. We'll be right back with more corporate time.
All right.
Excellent.
Nice. Good job, y'all. We're still on Twitch and YouTube. We got to do more, right?
That's
Or is that-
Thursday. No, we're good because that's Thursday 1.